Hey. Hi, welcome to Shadowrun, Sixth World, Pride of Seattle, one-shot game. I'm your host, Stuart Strategos, from my Facebook blog. And I've been GMing Shadowrun for editions 1 to 4. And I've skipped 5 because our gaming group stopped playing Shadowrun. And I've picked up 6, and we've got a GMing group here in London, well, in Southeast UK. So if I could ask each person, starting with Lucy, just to give a 2-line introduction to your character. We're going to go for the awful thing, and I think this is awful, but it's a one-game thing. We're going to say that you characters have worked together before once. Usually when you say that, what happens is in the character, the party usually implodes. It's the second worst thing to saying you're best friends with somebody, because that usually means that you end up killing them by the end of the run. In my experience, the GM says you two have known each other since childhood at the end of the game, and you bury him. But
don't tempt me.
You've worked together in a professional context on one run, so that basically we can speed up introductions. So if you can give a 2 kind of line introduction to your character, and just say what your experience has been playing Shadowrun.
Yeah, of course. So my real name is Lucy. I do sound funny because I'm German. So if I don't remember an English word, give me a minute. It's not my first language. I'm playing Rabbit, very clearly an elf, so she's not hiding her ears whatsoever, so that's, they basically smack you right in the face. And basically, she's carrying her job in the forms of loads and loads of weapons. So that should also relatively clear to... Yeah, it's clear to see what she does for a living.
She's bought a gun for every situation.
Basically.
And some you haven't thought of.
Yeah, and probably a hidden knife somewhere as well. Just to make sure.
Okay, Gert, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. I'm playing Gentry, the Dagger, and I'm kind of a guy, I'm down on his luck, kind of a sad existence at this point. He grew up in Tirtangir, the Elvish nation, son of a human mother. So of course he couldn't be anything in Tirtangir since they are Elvish and they kind of look down on every other race. So he kind of adopted the Shadowrun name Gentry as kind of the noble that is not noble and looked down upon. And then he immigrated from Tirtangir to Seattle and became embroiled in, what do you call that, urban brawling. And that's kind of went well for a while. But it degenerated into alcoholism, and now he's kind of he's hooked on the drug called cram. It makes him jittery and edgy and stuff, and he's kind of, well, so he quit that. He got too old. He's kind of like Mick Rourke out of the wrestling movie. I don't know if you've seen that. He's kind of, he's past his prime, so to speak. But he got offered a job, and he got a cerebral implant, and he got a deck. It's not very good. It's overclocked, so it does strange stuff. But yeah, that's him. So he's a combat hacker. He's kind of on the edge all the time, and jitterish.
Brilliant. Okay, Julian, take it away. Hunter.
Okay, so continuing the elven theme, and also continuing the scruffy down a heel elven theme.
Oh, we're friends since birth.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hunter is an elf from definitely the lower end, lower quality end of town. Didn't get much of a formal education, but what you may have found out since then is when he was mucking about as an urchin around town, he acquired what was not really an imaginary friend, but a scruffy old cat that turned out to be a manifestation of a totem spirit, a mentor spirit. His very cat-like reflexes and movements, and his found that his main talent is actually sneaking around and catching things, and he tries to make a living by hunting things like the sort of paranormal creatures, devil rats, and all sorts of pests that bother people in the lower class neck of the woods. And he's got some astral senses and some ability to spot ghosts, so he's added hunting, ghost busting to his repertoire, tried bounty hunting a bit. Unfortunately, all these highly ethical things don't actually really pay the bills, especially when you act like a cat spirit and putting it around a bit relationship wise, and he's paying maintenance for a couple of kids at least, which is racking up his bills. This has led to him getting into debt, with local money lenders. He's probably sold the market to somebody heavy, or a local gang, or possibly the Triads. I don't know if Stuart's got someone appropriate for the story that he might owe the 50,000 yen to.
They might turn up at some point.
he would have done better at clearing off his debts if he hadn't succumbed to his talismonger mate selling him a really nice magical katana.
That always puts you in debt. Okay, yeah. I put the order in wrong, but I'll just change the order quickly. So, Alec, do you want to go ahead and for Hot Rod?
Hi, yeah. So I'm Alec. I'm based in the southeast of England. I'm playing the character Hot Rod, who is a dwarf rigger, so I'm the man with a van. He grew up. He was quite a quiet child growing up, but he always had quite a penchant for classic cars, and so he got his name Hot Rod from. He as soon as he hit the age of 18, he got his implant, and he worked his way as a trucker, just quiet, just transporting, getting on a bit now. He's getting a bit old, and he's got to the point that he wants a bit more money in his life to fund his habit for his penchant for fast classic cars, and has decided to pick up a few Shadowrun.
Yeah. I kind of put his background down as being he's done a few bank jobs because he's got skills. He's got the skills.
He's done a few jobs in his time.
Driving fast and hacking locks as well as a little sideline. Of course, what happened to his crew, nobody knows. Knock, James, do you want to go ahead?
Oh, hi, my name is James. I'm actually from the United States, so hello from across the sea. And I play Knock. She is an elven shaman, and she flings the spells. Now, she essentially grew up in kind of like the poor slums areas of Seattle. She's also been raising her younger brother. And when she goes out and she runs, she kind of puts on some war paint on her face. It kind of has that skull motif, Day of the Dead look to it. It's to intimidate folks and also to let people know, don't frag with her.
I think what we need as the American is you have to actually clear up the way in which we pronounce Pulyup.
Pulyup.
It is Pulyup. I always wondered, you always get your tongue twisted around that one.
It's the same with the Elven Nation. Nobody really knows. I think it's Tirtangir, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Tirtangir, or yeah. Right, Raymond and Magnet.
Also, greetings from across the pond, folks. Another United States are here. I'll be playing Magnet, a Texas native who moved to Seattle after a couple things gone wrong. He's a bit older. He's got a wife and kid that he's been taking care of for the last 24 years or so. Decided to move to Seattle and see if there's something else can go on with him. And he's glad to be here. You notice that he is stuck in the 1970s. He used to wear those. He wears a canary yellow leisure suit, complete with the patent white leather boots and a white cowboy hat.
Wow, I've got distinctive style. That is distinctive style for sure. You've got there.
That's super distinctive style.
But that's not even his distinctive style. That's what he likes to wear.
Right, so we've had a quick, brief introduction. Quick thing about interacting with Roll20. All you need to do is click on your icon of your character and to hit the button for the test. If there's a test we don't have a test for, you can just click on the test button. And when you click on the test button, which also appears if you click on your character at the top right, it will just prompt you to how many dice you roll. And to type in the name for what the test is. So if we ever do something that we haven't got programmed in, and there goes some dice. Yeah.
It's not working for me.
Oh, the 3D dice?
When I click on the test, it's just telling me that
you have to click
there's no
on
value selected.
You have to click on Rabbit first. So
okay.
If you click on Rabbit first, then anything you do, you have to click on your icon first.
Okay.
And then it will.
What do I want to roll for?
Link
okay,
to
cool.
your character. Yeah, and we've got the deck there as well, and the remote control deck have got separate things, and the vehicles have got separate stats as well. Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, works. Perfect.
Excellent. And when you roll dice, they'll appear in the chat screen, and if you hover over the number of hits, you can actually see what the roll was. So you've got the number of dice you roll there, which doesn't seem to have worked. 6 plus. Let me just do something quickly. I'm going to check that. Test.
So for my roll,
test, and I'm just going to stick a number in here. You just put in a number in, explode, no, submit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's rolling the right number of dice. 1, 2. Oh, it's not rolling the right number of dice. No, that's not me. I'm the one above. That's it, right? No, it's fine. Okay, just wanted to check. Right, brilliant. The only one thing is the animation seems to be working really, really slow at the moment. Don't know why. Might because of the video. So I might even just chop the video down. So actually, I'm going to stop my video, and I'm going to go to options, and I am going to just reduce our avatars to our names. And that will free up some space, because the other problem with Roll20 is the avatars hide the dice as well, which is a pain. But then they'll appear there anyway. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so introduction's over. So it's 2080 in Seattle. It's March, and there have been a few rainy days here and now. There have been some sun, but mostly rainy days, because after all, it is Seattle. And you have been contacted by a common fixer called Hex, and she has asked you to attend this small kind of fast food outlet called Happy Panda Noodles. Happy Panda Noodles is well known within what we call Little Asia, which is a section of Tacoma. And also going up towards the Tacoma docks, kind of a rival for some of the other things, but the other eateries, but it really is quite popular. I'm going to throw up a picture of what Happy Panda Noodles looks like. Everyone should see a handout appear on the screen.
Nice.
Yep. Okay, so Happy Panda Noodles. So Happy Panda Noodles is a family kind of like, not family, it's a family restaurant. Enough people go to it with their families to eat. Maybe not the typical thing you'd expect to meet for a Shadowrun. Maybe a bit low key. I said it's a job. It's going to involve a quick turnaround in a couple of days, and that's all she can tell you. So we'll pick up kind of from there. How do you want to approach this situation? It's early evening, about 6 o'clock, so it's actually quite busy.
Do we have a description of the Johnson?
Yep. So you have a description of the Johnson. His name is Tony Fong, and you've got basically a picture of what he looks like. And I'll put this up. There we go.
I know that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
So Tony Fong is going to meet you there.
Okay. I'll tell you what, folks. Why don't I go ahead and make first contact? I'll bring you guys in as get the situation taken care of, unless somebody else wants to go in with me.
Sounds good to me.
Actually, before going, I would like to do some matrix search on the Johnson, just to figure out if he's dirty SOB. They usually are.
Okay, it depends how long you want. You've probably got time to do a search for an hour before you go. So if you click on your cyber deck.
Oh, I just did a test thingy here. Okay.
Oh yeah, or you can just click on your cyber deck and click on Matrix search. It's brilliant.
Oh, where did the cyber deck go? Where did the cyber deck go?
It's next
on the screen.
it's next to your name. So it says Renraku Kitsune, and you can click on that, and you can just basically throw the test.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Matrix search. Just to find out if he has some skeletons in the closet. And since, well, I'm not the talker here, I'm kind of usually gruff and depressing and edgy. So I'm just sitting back and maybe just fiddling with my device and soaking up stuff while he's talking. Can't find it. Matrix. Attribute. Why can't I?
It's at the top. So when you click on the cyber deck, it'll appear at the top. I should have said that. And it's under Matrix. Should be in alphabetical order. So it should say Matrix. Matrix
find the line.
search.
There, extended.
Matrix search extended.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, like that.
Yeah, because you can spend more than one. Because it's an extended test. For every hour you spend, you can get additional successes.
That's okay.
Okay. After some time of searching, you managed to find a couple of social media things. Make a normal perception roll while you're looking at the pictures.
Yes. Right. Oh. Perception. What are the stats for that?
Just click on perception on the bottom.
Yeah, it asks me for a pool.
Just put 0 for that. That's an adjustment, so you can manually adjust it if you want
modifier.
Yeah, yeah. You only need to put something in there if you need to modify it.
Okay. No attribute was for her. Maybe there.
Wow, that's a roll. Okay.
I would actually like to spend one edge just to get +1. Then I'll get an additional hit.
It costs 2 edge to get +1 if you want to roll one, but I'm not sure.
I'll drop them directly.
You you zoom in on one of the pictures from the social media, and you notice that him and a couple of the other people have got some tattoos that are visible in their neckline. And going down, he's wearing a vest in the picture, and you can see the tattoos there. You're not sure of the significance of the tattoos because of your. It depends if you've got the etiquette or influence skill. Have you got influence as a skill?
I'll share it on the image link for everybody who's capable of getting pictures and image link.
Okay. Does anybody have a particular skill in organised crime?
I mean, some of the guys had a depth to some Asians. Maybe he knows.
It may be something you could find in a search later, but you're not sure off the top of your head.
That's okay.
Or if someone's got a contact in organised crime, that's something you could do. Has anyone got?
I have a Yakuza contact. Could I reach out to them?
Yeah, sure. So you pick up the phone and give him a call. What's his name?
Jiro Hirokawa.
Okay. Hello, Jiro here.
Hi, Jiro. Got a small favor to ask of you. I got a
I don't do favors.
job.
I do exchanges for new yen.
Of course, I understand. So, I have a picture of a Johnson, and I just want to get some details. He has an interesting tattoo. Do you think maybe you can tell me some details about it?
Yeah, maybe. What's his connection rating?
His connection rating is 5, loyalty 2.
Okay, the connection rating is 5. This is what happens when you've got a person with high charisma. So he's going to... And what I do when I roll this, I'm going to roll what he knows off the top of his head with just connection. And if he doesn't know it off the top of his head, he can roll connection again and add it together to find out more that he might know this off the top of his head. In actual fact, I'll give him a 2 dice bonus here because this is his area of speciality.
Oh.
Ouch.
It's the Halloweeners.
It's a bit blurry. This bit. I think it's some sort of. He didn't critically glitch. I don't think did he? No, he didn't critically glitch. I think it's some sort of triad tattoo. I can't tell you what sort of triad, but I can look into it a bit more and get back to you if you want.
Sure, if you can, and I'll make it worth your while.
Okay, I'll get back to you in a little while, and let's see how much information he gets when he gets back to you.
And I let the team know. I reached out to one of my contacts, and he thinks it might be a triad tattoo, but he'll let me know. He'll try to reach out to me after he gets the D.
And he doesn't get back to you.
Maybe
he mysteriously doesn't get back to you.
Like next night or so, the job's over.
Yeah.
Want to mark off Jiro as a contact because he's probably dead.
He's just been particularly dense, this contact.
he started asking the wrong questions.
Yes, sir.
But you see, it's a triad tattoo. That's what you got. Okay, so it's been a couple in that other last. So it took about an hour for the metric search, and you were waiting. The guy hasn't got back, and you're getting up to the time for the meet. Was there anything anybody else wanted to do before they head to the meet?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably drive up on my bike a bit earlier and have a look around the kind of alleys around back of the place.
Yeah, there's like alleys around.
Move around quietly, scope the place to check there isn't anybody. Don't seem to be van load, people waiting outside or anything like that.
It's a residential area, medium class, not far from the Tacoma docks. You've actually got a view onto the actual docks. It's actually right on the dockside. You've actually got a view right onto the into the bay, onto the Puget Sound. And around there are some other kind of like retail outlets, but not too, a bit more rundown, not kind of like a high class neighborhood. And there's some kind of general families living in here. So I'm going to do a little bit of switching with my screen, and I'm going to drop you into Tacoma. Let's just find it. No, that's Renton. I need to go across one more. Tacoma. Okay. So, this is the Tacoma Docks area, and the place is just about here. And this area here is, this area just to the south is known as Little Asia, which is basically a kind of Chinese ethnicity kind of like area, like a little Chinatown, basically.
Okay.
And then this is the main kind of industrial dock area in this area here. You should see a kind of a circle up here. There you go. Brilliant. So I'm going to pull you back to the screen, and you know there are a kind of a single alley around the back where there are deliveries. But not a great deal of alleys. There are lots of entries to the actual place. The place has at least 2 front entries, and it has glass at the front, and there's an entry out the back as well. So lots of different exits and entries to the place. There's even a lovely looking weird gym sort of thing where some kids are playing.
Yeah.
And going in and out of tubes.
Okay, how weird, but okay. All right, well, try and find a discreet place to watch from.
Actually, make a perception roll while you're doing that.
Try and get that up.
Yeah, I would like to be there early and eat some noodles.
Okay. You're going to go in and physically scout the place. So you can make a perception roll as well. So just click on the your character and click on perception, intuition perception.
There you go.
Okay, 2 hits. 2 hits be enough. You can notice there's some sort of technology built in around the entrances.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Cool. Pretty much guess it is some sort of normal weapons detector, which are pretty much standard in a lot of places.
Yeah.
There are also aren't any kind of security guards inside, but there are kind of beat cops. Not that common, but every so often are around.
Okay. Well, I'll drop people a quick text message or whatever the equivalent is to say that. Mention it looks like a weapon scanner, a few cops about, but nothing. Nobody obviously hanging around surveilling the place or anything like that.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So, and Rabbit, you go. Are you knowing there's weapon scanners there? Are you going to take weapons into the place?
I would say yes.
Have you got a license?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Just
because you know from the top of your head, it would, unless you've got a license, it would basically probably pick up your gun. And the normal kind of security would be that they'd then flag. You notice that there's a cred stick reader next to it where you can basically flag your permit, and you have a concealed carry permit.
Where on the character sheet would I find if I have a license or not?
If I created your character, you have got a license because it's in your lifestyle section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you've got a fake cred stick with rating 6 ID and a concealed carry permit and a pistol permit. So you can take a pistol in.
Then I'll do that.
So on your way in, you stick your augmented reality permit up, and a little kind of eyeball scans it as you walk through, and it automatically registers your permit as you walk through.
Cool, perfect. And then I'm going to sit down and actually eat something, but I will also just get a feel for the place and for the people, and
you're kind of a bit. It's family friendly. There's lots of people playing, a few business people having meals as well that are coming to the end of their day. Quite busy, except for two booths that are currently have got a reserved kind of icon on there. You're about for about say 20 minutes early, and you a small AR panda appears in virtual space in front of you, sitting on your table and throwing up a kind of a melody and an AR menu for you to choose from.
Okay.
It's so cute.
It's very cute. Yeah. I'm probably going to get just some random fried noodles.
Okay, you get a variety of like 14 different varieties of random fried noodles. So taking a pick, it's quite a nice place. And the AR timer suddenly appears next to you and starts counting down the amount of time. They're very hot on efficiency about how long it will take. And within not much time, a small drone starts whizzing around the tracks around the outside and pulls up to your table, depositing a small recyclable paper canister onto your table with some snap apart sticks.
Cool.
And then wheels off.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit down and eat and watch people coming and going.
Make a perception roll.
Okay.
In the meantime, is everybody else going to be pulling up in the van and arriving on time, or are you?
Magnet will be arriving on time.
Okay.
Same here.
So, since Hot Rod's the wheels, are you all taking Hot Rod's GMC Bulldog?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I'll give everyone a lift if they want.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I came by my bike, so I can't come ahead.
2. Okay. You do notice. You do notice your Johnson heading in. He takes a seat, waves his hand in the air, so obviously ordering something. Actually, you can see a little panda sitting on his desk, and he orders something before a small kind of drone deposits some noodles. He seems to be looking out the window at something. His window's looking out over the ocean, the bay, and he's got basically sitting on one of the reserved places, which he's now taken off the reserved icon.
Okay. I'm going to wait till the others show up and then join him.
Okay. Right. Okay. So everybody arrives in the van. Who's going to go in?
Magnet
I-
will.
Yeah,
I will.
I'll saunter
Knock
in with my 2 automatic pistols and my license level 5 wall kilmer.
Okay. So Magnet goes in. Gentry goes in then, and
Knock will go into.
Knock will go in. Hot Rod, is Hot Rod going in?
I'm going to wait outside in the van for you guys, just in case you need to make a quick getaway.
Turn up the
good.
music up to max. And Hunter.
I'm assuming there isn't some unwritten rule that the whole team's got to turn up or anything like that.
We no.
They can represent it. No, I'll stay outside and try to find a discreet place to hang out and just watch.
You
from outside.
you loiter.
Loiter,
near
basically,
one of the
just in any
entrances.
trouble.
Okay. Okay, right. So you arrive in. Magnet and Hot Rod. Let's say Magnet and Knock and Gentry are heading towards the table. He looks up. Hi. How you doing? Take a seat.
Johnson, you can call me Magnet. These are my associates, Gentry
And
and Knock.
I don't think I've ever been called a Johnson before, but I like the title. But you know you can I've forgotten his own name now. You can call me Tony.
Tony, it is.
He's very very smiling, amenable, holds out a hand to people.
Magnet shakes it.
Yeah, take a seat. The duck teriyaki is just brilliant here.
All right.
Take a seat. I'll order some noodles, and as soon as the cute, irritating panda pops up, I'll just lean back and I'll try to figure out how I can do something with the animation of the panda so it makes it fall down or something out of our air for the entire restaurant or something.
This wild erratic panda starts marauding
Yeah,
across.
precisely.
It's now got a pink mohawk and looking slightly rabid.
Precisely.
Change the sign outside so it says the pissed panda or something and have the panda fall down.
A couple of the children
Make it
are
panda.
pointing at this panda as it wanders around,
Something
causing
like
trouble.
that. I'm not the talker here, so I'll leave it to the face.
Right. So
Anyway, I'm glad you arrived here, and shows that you can operate in some level of subtlety. That's why I chose you to meet. There are certain people in your line of work who don't do well in public places. Let's say, I'm glad you do. Well, most of you, he says, looking at the panda. Very simple job, and it's a bit last minute. Okay,
let's talk business.
we need someone escorted from a boat. Well, I should say a ship. He gestures over at the open window, and you can see a boat called what says the Pride of Seattle, and it's actually just on its way into the harbour right now.
All right. What? Where?
It's a large 40-story cruise liner.
Oh, nice. Right.
The guy you're looking for is a top-level programmer. His name is Isaac Carell. He works for Ranraku, and we've organised with him to, let's say, repatriate him to a new line of work.
All right.
So we need to basically escort him. Now, one of the complications to why we brought you on is he has acquired some security. He's got 2 security guards. Now, one is named John Beaumont. And John Beaumont has worked for him for a while, and he's on board with the whole thing. He is, let's say, a willing participant. But recently, he was assigned another bodyguard called Yotomi Nakamari. And Yotomi Nakamari is a bit of an unknown factor here, and he's certainly not on board with the idea. So we've put in place a plan before, and our operative on the ship has basically made contact and been negotiating with Carell, and has decided the amount to pay him. All of that's been sorted out. The guy's on board. The plan is very simple. We give the guy some living death Now, if you're familiar with this, it's a drug that basically simulates pretty much death. And over the past few weeks before the trip, Isaac's made some very kind of discreet trips to the doctors, complaining of headaches. He's putting down the legwork so that it looked like maybe a stroke could be a possibility. Once that happens, he's going to be basically escorted onto a federated Boeing commuter, which will land, but won't be from Dockwagon. But to do this, we need to basically bypass their system. So when they put out the call to Dockwagon, we need to basically have the system stop that. And we've got a little tool to do that. It's called a spike. And he basically gestures with a small case. It's a very simple data chip circuit which you basically place into the satellite array directly, rather than having to hack the system. And when you place it in, it automatically, the hardware is configured. So when a call goes out to Dockwagon, it will reroute that call to a number that we basically chose, which will be our second team, and that team will be bringing the federated Boeing commuter down, and then ready to extract him. Your team will be able to extract on that as well. So that's the plan. But the issue is that we need Nakamari removed from the picture quietly, quickly, and efficiently.
Okay.
Not necessarily lethally, but just basically long enough so that he's not going to cause a problem to the extraction, and then to escort, make sure Carol makes it to the place.
Alright, so basically we've got ourselves a defection. Put it in old school terms as a. So this is a voluntary extraction, making sure I've got all my ducks in a row.
Absolutely. And we have, let's say, some ties to the company that are involved with doing some of the services. So they manage the laundry, the food, basically all of the basic stuff that goes on the ship. And so we can get you IDs to work within basically the staff on this place. Not the security staff, that's a separate company, but basically the behind the scenes staff, the cleaners, the people that run the bars, and that we have got people on the inside.
Fair enough. Okay. Seeing as how you've contacted us personally, let's just go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty here, and let's talk ourselves some, payment on the job here. What are we looking at for our escorting fee, as it were?
Well, as a lump sum, and because this is a quick turnaround, and we hadn't expected to hire you, I'm offered to go with a much higher rate than normal and go for about 18,000 yen. At which point you have to be careful not to kind of like choke on your noodles at the ludicrously low amount he's trying to offer you.
Yeah. Well, that sounds pretty good, but that won't keep me fed, as it were. That dog won't hunt. So, are there any negotiations available for?
So you've got it,
or shall we say?
Well, it's a one job. You get him, you bring him off. Slight violence. I think it'd be a very easy job. I mean, it shouldn't take you more than basically, it takes a couple of days. You get on. We've lined up for the thing to take place as soon as he gets into international waters. So the ship's due to leave in 2 days' time. You're going to get on board. You're going to get on board tomorrow morning. Get settled in, and then as soon as
working with the ship, is that correct?
Yeah, and then as soon as the ship leaves, you can basically leave on the whole plan will go into action. So as soon as it gets into international waters, so that will be the afternoon of the day after tomorrow.
So any complications or any extra hazards will be, unfortunately, I will be having to take the expense on that. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'm hoping there won't be any complications.
Well, there are several value. There's going to be several. Excuse me, sir. Get a little self. There's going to be several variables upon such a large ship that we're going to have to take into consideration. There's civilians, obviously. Any civilian casualties. So.
Hence, we're looking for something low key.
Yes, we need to keep it as low key as possible. 100% with that.
You roll your negotiation test.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. I was getting ready to do.
You've got your negotiation speciality. It will appear next to your character at the top. I think you've got the speciality negotiation. And I'm going to test for him as well. Okay, do you want to roll yours?
Oh, hang on a minute. I'm still trying to find the.
If you click on your character,
yeah, I did that.
And then up the top, it should say. Oh, you haven't got speciality in negotiation. No, it'll be down at the bottom then. So just roll influence. It'll be charisma influence.
Right.
Social influence.
Social. Yeah, that's. Yeah. And I had that on a Mac.
Yeah.
I just lost it. So give me a second here to find it.
If any of your characters ever have specializations, it appears in the top.
Right. One dice. Modifiers.
No modifier. And you've got first impressions. You get 2 bonus edge for having the first impressions. So this edge is temporary and only for the social test. So you might as well use it. You can re-roll 2 dice with it, or you can spend it to increase 1 4 to a 5, or you can add your own edge to it and do something more.
I think I'm going to go ahead and just use that edge to turn one of my 4s into a 5.
Okay, so that costs you 2 edge to turn 1 4 to a 5, so that gives you a total tests of 4. Okay, so you get 15% over the base, and the base is going to be 30,000, so you get 15% over that. So you get 30, let's say 35,000 yen. Okay, you managed to negotiate up quite some way.
Yes.
Everybody else is really impressed. He could sell alligator skin to an alligator.
Yes, I can. All right.
Okay, but you haven't lost or gained any edge because you spent them automatically. Okay, just give me a second. I'm just going to be back in a second. So I'm going to take a 2 second.
So subvocally over the. Does everybody have subvocal mics and some form of communications?
I think most people have got subvocal mics probably because it's a pretty standard thing. Okay, I'll let you talk amongst yourself. I'm just going to be back in a second. Hold on.
Okay. Subvocally over the mics, I'm going to say this is for those of you who aren't in the negotiation process. Magnet says, "Looks like we're going on a boat ride, boys, girls." Our Johnson wants us to escort a gentleman from the Pride of Seattle onto a transport in the middle of the ocean, approximately 3 days hence from now. Got a pretty good payday on that. It's going to be.
I checked the prices online. We are way overselling ourselves. Or underselling, I should say. Well, no matter, I need the money. Let's go for it.
I get you. There's a couple of variables we need to worry about. First of all, there's going to be a lot of civilians, obviously, and we've got a couple of bodyguards who are going to be a trick to deal with this gentleman. One of them is definitely on board with the extraction. The other one is unknown fact.
Okay.
If we have to be on this boat for 2 days, I better not be a waiter. Like, I'm not going to be a waitress on a cruise ship. Never ever.
There are other jobs.
Different job.
There's plenty of below deck stuff that we can hide people away in. Hunter, make a perception roll.
Put it like this. I'm not going to drop my leathers for this. This is my style. I'm not going to cramp my style for a waiter job.
Okay. There you go.
Right, there are 5 people who seem to be making a beeline. They've just pulled up in a car across the road. They've got out, and they are heading over towards the place. They look like they have purpose, and they have Yakuza tattoos.
And in that case, I'll get over the comlink for that. Guys, we have company. 5 people with Yakuza tattoos coming in right now. Walking in with a purpose.
They walk past.
Thanks, Hunter.
They walk past you into the building. One guy obviously leading the way, and head almost directly towards your table. 2 of them staying by the door, and another guy, the guy and 2 of his cronies are basically following him as he heads up to the table. Tony kind of leans over to Magnet and just says, "If you don't mind, no guns. You might need to deal with these people."
They don't have any gun. Wait, he kind of leans over and goes, "You don't want me to use my gun? They don't have."
I prefer not to. Let's see what you can do.
Okay.
At which point the guy calls over to him. "Hey, 88! This isn't your turf." He basically flexes his muscle and then starts sizing you guys up.
Can I start to basically start to stealth up or creep up on the guys outside?
Okay, make a stealth roll.
Yeah.
Am I sitting with the guys at the table with Mr. Johnson?
No, you're sitting away at a separate table.
Okay, so I'm just going to turn towards that and watch it unfold. I'm not going to draw weapons yet, or go ballistic on anything. But I want to focus on that conversation.
Okay, so Hunter moves up, and you're basically just behind one of the guys. Let's make a perception roll for him to see if he sees you heading up. So GM test. Okay. No, he's wrapped up in the scene unfolding in front of him, and too busy trying to look as tough as possible.
I have blandness as a quality, so
you're just one of the staff.
Magnet leans back in the booth, both arms kind of draped over both elbows draped on the back. Is it a booth or a table?
It's a booth. There's 2 booths here. The one next to you is empty as well. Okay.
He kind of turns in the booth a little bit and leans one elbow on the table and the other elbow on the back of the. Says, boys, let's just take a minute to talk a minute. We're just here to enjoy a meal, talk to our friend Tony. Obviously, there's no trouble needing to be had. We'll be out of your hair shortly. We just gonna have a little fun with our buddy here.
Hey, Gejin, this is nothing to do with you. Tony there, he's part of the 88s. He's in our territory. And we're gonna have to teach him some manners. He gestures to the 2 people next to him, who begin taking a step forward.
Then slowly from one of my cowboy boots, I pull out my combat knife. Without, I reach under the table, pull out my combat knife, and underneath the table, and keep it underneath the table, and I say, "Oh my, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to go ahead and push this, you're going to find yourself in a little bit of trouble. This old Texas boy is too old to keep fighting people. I suggest you just turn around, walk out, and learn to live to live another day."
Okay. Make a influence roll.
right. Any modifiers?
You've got first impressions. You get 2 edge.
All right. I'll go ahead and use those 2 edge to. Is it a reroll?
You get basically 2 edge for free, and you can use that to in any way you want to use edge. You could re-roll 2 dice or increase a 4 to a 5.
Okay. Then I'll go ahead and roll, and we'll figure out. Nothing exploding. Five hits. I'll go ahead and make it 6 hits and turn one of my 4s into a 5.
Okay. He is taken aback by your serious demeanour and steps back, gestures off his 2 goons.
That's what I thought, sir. Now, if you want to teach him a lesson after we're gone, by all means. But please, allow us to finish our meal and conversation as gentlemen would do.
Tony leans over and says, "Yeah, you and your little sidekicks there, you better get out of here."
Tony?
That did not help. At this point, at this point, they go for you.
And if you get your ass kicked because of what now,
okay, we're into initiative now. You were doing so well, and in one sentence, Tony screwed it all up for you.
Thank you very much, sir.
You'd almost think that was intentional.
You think it was, but
Well, you did just say they could beat him up after we were gone. So,
hey, what happens after the negotiations happens after the negotiations.
Okay,
we're
so
trying to conduct business here, folks.
If people click on their character, and at the top there should be an initiative button.
Alrighty.
And I'm going to open the initiative menu. And I've got to clear it actually from my last game, which I haven't done.
Oh no.
Give me a second. Everyone not roll initiative now until I've cleared it, because removal turns. Okay.
I'll piss off.
Clear. Okay, everyone roll initiative then. There we go.
Alright.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
you want us to roll again then?
Yeah, if you roll, it'll automatically file it in the turn
Yeah.
order.
Now, here is a mechanical question, Stuart. I have wired reflexes that are not always on, so I'm going to be using a minor action to click them on it, to turn them on.
For the time being, then you have to use initiative manual rather than initiative. So if you do initiative manual and just type in your stats instead of doing it automatically.
Okay, initiative.
Okay, and I've just thrown up a screen for you. So we've got some characters here, and we've got your characters. So Gendry is sitting down at the bottom. You might have to zoom out on this one. So Gendry is sitting at the bottom down here, and Hot Rod's out in the car. And Drake's over here, and Hunter's standing by the door over here.
Yeah, I sidled up on one of them.
And Tony Fong is over here. And Rabbit is sitting on a table over on this side. And Nock is just sitting down here. And then the guys are kind of split up a bit. You've got kind of a couple standing over by Hunter. And then the 2 goons are moving forward. And here's the boss guy is kind of stepping back a bit. And there are some families sitting around at the tables around as well. Right, okay, so I need to roll for my...
I need to modify my initiative, because I'm on the drug right now, the cram.
In which case you have to roll, or just you can. Is it?
1 die 6 and then +1 on reaction. I've got that too.
If you just
roll like that.
Yeah, and then you can add that
That's
manually.
2, so I'm 21.
Okay. Otherwise, you can just do initiative manually when you do it. Okay, so, and the grunts are just going to roll initiative. So they roll 1 dice and they add 5 to their initiative. Okay, right. So Hunter, you were not wired, were you? Oh, Hunter is. No, sorry, Hunter is. Yes. So you notice these guys are going for action. What are you going to do? You're standing right next behind this Yakuza guy.
Yeah, I'm a bit weird. The turn order is confusing because I can't see that. But
you can't see the turn order.
Well, I can see turn order. It's just got Hot Rod and 1 person on it. I don't know if it's.
No name.
Oh.
I think we rolled on the other screen. It hasn't carried us over.
Oh, weird. It should appear. I mean, just if I close it and launch it again, it should appear. If not, I'll have a look. Is it in the options? No.
I think it's because we rolled it on the other screen and then it moved over.
Yeah, weird. I can just tell people what their initiatives are anyway. Okay, so Hunter, you're first.
Yeah, so these guys aren't aware of me.
Yep.
I'm basically just going to try and, we've heard the message about not going in guns blazing and the rest of it. I'm just going to try and drop this guy from behind if he's not paying attention to me.
Okay, so I'm going to make a reaction test to see whether he is surprised in your attack, which he probably will be, since you've made quite a number of successes. He just needs to make a reaction roll. So, hang on a second. Right, test. Give me a second. The screen's not working. Here we go. Test. Right. So he's going to roll reaction. No, he's completely unawares as you come up behind him and make an attack.
Close combat.
Close combat.
Okay. Should be selected.
What's your character's strength?
Strength is 3, but I do have critical strike and killing hands.
How many levels of critical strike do you have?
Got 1.
1, so that's 4. And what's your agility?
Agility is 7 and close combat's 5.
7. So that's an attack rating of 11 because it's strength plus critical strike plus agility. So you've got 11 and he's got basically 6. So you get a point of edge. And you get another point of edge situationally because you're surprising him. So you get 2 points of edge. Now you can either save those edge, or you can use them instantly, or you can put them into your edge counter on your.
Let's
thing.
save them.
Okay.
Save them.
So you can see if you click on your character, it will basically have a little button, so you can actually increase the number of edge you've got on there.
So that's the little green counter. Is that right?
The green one is edge. Red is physical, and blue is stun. Okay,
so I'll put the edge up to 5.
You got 8 successes, right? Okay, he rolls 5 dice to resist because you still get defense tests when you. I'm just typing the wrong thing in. You get 5 dice to resist, but he doesn't get to spend any action, so you can't do a block action. He gets 2, so you get 6 net successes, and his soak roll. GM test. He just rolls his body, doesn't get any. So basically what happens is you just take him by the back of the head, whip round the his leg, and just introduce his face to the floor in a rather violent manner. He doesn't get up after that.
Funny that.
A sickening crack because probably some of his teeth embedded into the plastic panels on the floor. Rabbit, what do you want to do on 23?
I'm standing up and walking towards them, like towards the table where everyone else is sitting.
You've got enough movement points that basically in one minor action you can get 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get basically 6, and that's one minor action. Actions work like this: you get 1 major action and 1 minor action, and then you get additional minor action for every initiative dice you've got. So you've got initiative dice of 3, so you get 1 major action and 4 minor actions.
If you've got if you've got 4 minors, you can turn them into a second major. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So she spent 1 minor action to walk up to 10 meters because you can only walk once in a turn. So you walk up, basically casually walking up.
Yeah, I'm like licking some sauce, like some sauce from the food from my fingers, and then I'm going to grab one of the goons that's close to me and like pinch his ear, like like a angry Japanese mom would do. Just like, grab his ear and push like my fingernail into his earlobe, so not like not like gripping them, but like physically hurting him. And then I say in Japanese, like, shall we take this outside?
Make a this is going to actually be a grapple rather than actually physically trying to hurt him. So one of the little tools we've got up here is in player quick steps. We've got a actions quick step sheet, and it should have grapple on there. So it's a major action, grapple grab. You're going to have to do this manually. Oh no, you can just roll close combat plus agility versus close combat plus agility and strength plus net hits versus target strength. Okay, yeah, so you just roll a close combat test.
So you want me to roll?
Yeah, you can just click on the attack close combat roll because it's the same roll.
Where do I click? Sorry.
If you click on your character, and then at the bottom there's a thing called attack close combat on the macro bar.
I don't see the close combat for whatever reason.
Have you ticked on it in your? I'm
sure I did. Yeah.
It should say attack close combat along the bottom.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sorry. Attack, close combat. Come on. There we go. No modifier, no explosion. It says, there we go.
Okay.
Nice roll.
Whoa.
3. Oh, is it a critical glitch? Is it a glitch? There's a few ones there. Now you rolled 12 dice, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4. No,
Five. No glitch.
You just avoid the waiter with a big pile of dishes, dirty dishes that was just going past you. Just by the skin of your teeth, you managed to get there's a noodle on your shoulder, and as you move quickly, and then basically grab the person in a lock by his ears. Pushing him down and basically talking to his ear. He can't do anything at the moment until he basically breaks that grab. What's your strength?
I don't think I'm that powerful. Let me check.
He gets
4.
He rolls 6 dice for his test. Okay, so he got 3 successes actually. He's quite definitely trying to avoid that, but you've managed to grab him, but not very securely. So if he makes this, you win in the case of a draw, but the attack isn't enough to.
I'm not really like trying to hurt him.
Yeah,
it's more like an intimidation. So
he will have to break the grapple. Before.
Cool, perfect. Yep, that's fine with me. Yeah.
So to break a grapple, you have to make close combat plus strength versus your close combat plus strength next turn. Right, next action is Gentry. You've got a guy basically is coming straight for you because you're sitting between him and Tony.
Precisely. As my first minor action, I'll activate my wide reflexes level 2.
So that's because it's are they on your pan? Because if they're on your pan, then you get the action. You get that action straight away back again.
Oh, okay.
So it becomes there's no free actions in
okay, now precisely. Yeah. Okay, great.
But it does mean if you got it on your pan, it does mean someone can turn them off if they were hacking your pan. That's a bit of warning. But you are the decker, so that's not going to happen. Okay, so
precisely. So I'll slide out quickly. I'm an old from Urban Brawling, so I'll just power slide out and try to knock him out with a close combat attack.
Okay, make a
out of nowhere.
yeah. You take your noodles with you. Make a close
Precisely.
combat roll.
Yeah, dice pool modifier
0.
0.
Yeah, the dice pool modifiers
Yeah.
don't.
So, if I would like to do this powerful 4-edge, going all in and adding my edge dice.
Oh, you can.
My edge.
You can spend your entire edge pool. You have to. You basically.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Just for effect.
What's your edge skill? In total.
6.
6. So add 6 dice to the dice pool modifier, and where it says explode, click yes.
Oh, great. Great stuff. I have no time for subtlety. Oh, I didn't roll them. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, we are like in a family restaurant and just like
Yeah,
dropping
just take
people.
him down now! I guess he's bleeding from his nose.
Like I'm trying to be subtle and not scare the kids, like on the playground right next to us.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're straight out of a carnival,
Right.
us guys.
Five successes, and this guy gets. Are you also what's your strength, by the way?
2, I guess.
I'm
not sure.
So 2 plus your reaction. What's your agility?
No,
Sorry?
my strength is 4 actually.
What's your agility?
My agility is 4.
It's 4, so it's 8. So you actually you don't beat him in your attack rate. Your attack rating is 8, and his defense rating is 5. So you don't get 4 overs. You don't get an automatic edge for that. He gets 4 successes, but you get 5. So you do 1 extra damage. What's your your damage would be 2 plus it's 3, 3, and let's just roll soak. Okay, you basically just stamp on his toe. It wasn't really a power slide, more of kind of a little kick. But if you want, you can spend your remaining 4 major actions, or minor actions, sorry, because you've got. Have you got? Still got 4 minor actions left to make another attack.
I'll do that.
Okay, so roll again.
Yep.
You won't have anything.
Dead.
You won't have anything left for defense.
Wait for me.
This guy's going to throw a block this time. So he gets to add his close combat to his defense test, but it loses one of his actions. Okay, so obviously just stepping on his toe was just a prelude to the uppercut that followed. Makes a soak test.
His attention from one of the other guys.
4 damage and 1 soaks. That's 3 damage. Okay, so basically you punch him in the gut and wind him. He staggers back. That's 4 damage and falls over with a face full of noodles. If you take damage over your body, you go prone.
Precise fall down.
Okay, so Hot Rod. You're outside listening to AC/DC.
Seeing things hot up inside, I'm gonna move the van
Closer to the door.
So
Okay.
close to the door, so I'm parked over the
There are bollards around the immovable crash bollards around it, but you can park nearer, keeping the engine running.
Yeah, I'm going to park across those 2 disabled bays.
Okay.
Pointing south.
And I'm going to do
So
this really cool thing here with the car, because the car is an icon and it moves. Hey, look at this.
We're such hardened criminals parking over the disabled base.
Yeah.
Right, so we're up to Magnet and Knock. Who's got higher edge?
I've got a 3.
What's Knock's edge? If you click on
Bear
Knock,
with me.
if you look on Knock's character, it'll actually come up how much edge you've got at the moment. You've got 3 as well. So
I got 3.
Who's got higher reaction? Because Ty's
I
going.
have a reaction of 3.
And what's I think Magnet's reaction slightly higher, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah, so you go first. It's Eric. Edge reaction, intuition, coin toss. So,
Oh, coin.
yeah. Magnet, so you go first. What are you going to do?
Okay. This is what I want to do. The one that was doing the talking. I want to turn my combat knife around so that the butt end is facing up.
Okay.
And I want to jam it right up underneath his chin so that it not only does it knock him silly, but it's going to actually throw him back so that he falls down.
So basically, at the moment, one guy is on the basically having his ear bent by a rabbit. One guy is on the floor with his face full of noodles. One guy in the distance, you notice, seems to be having a séance having a prayer session with the floor, not moving. One guy's not at the back is okay, and then you basically have got a free run up to just step up to the guy and make a. Are you trying to do a physical damage, or are you just basically putting your knife to his neck?
I'm gonna do stun damage. I'm actually gonna butt end him with the backside with the.
Yeah, we'll give that strength plus one as a kind of a club attack. So, what's your strength?
My strength is 4.
What's your reaction? Agility, sorry.
Agility is 3.
That's 7, so it's not enough to get a bonus over him for attack rating. His defense rating is 5, so you don't get any extra edge there. So just go to a straight close combat roll.
All right.
And he's going to try and dodge, try and block.
You've attempted to use a command.
Oh, you got to click on the icon before you.
On me, yeah.
Yeah.
Loading. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and burn 2 edge on this.
You don't have to say that until you've rolled. Unless the only time you have to say is when you do it before. So if you roll.
Okay.
Free, and do you want to spend some edge?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
You can spend. You can just hit the edge reroll button. There's a button that says edge 1, edge 2, edge 3.
Oh, it was on edge 1.
How many do you want to reroll? 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here. Row 2. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to miss.
Okay. This guy obviously knows some moves because he puts up a block and knocks your arm to the side before you get close to him.
Okay.
What was your? You don't have enough actions, so you've still got some minor actions left. Okay, Knock. What are you doing?
Right, so I'm going to blast the guy who I assume is the leader of this ragtag group of ragamuffins.
Hit him with a
stun bolt.
Okay,
Yep.
If you click on your character, the stun bolt will appear at the top.
Seems to give me a roll of a little blurb of text.
Oh, it's not. For some reason, it's not rolled. The if you just click the magic sorcery button.
I don't see magic sorcery in the list of macros.
Is it called something else?
On my end, anyway.
Hold on a second. Maybe I've made a mistake and not enabled it to players. Let me just check. Sorcery. Magic sorcery. There. That's why. There you go. This is what happens. Okay. If you click on stun ball again, it should automatically do it now. I hadn't made it available to players.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just
No one to explain.
That's perfect.
5 dice. That ain't bad.
Okay. He rolls, since it's a direct combat spell, he doesn't roll any resistance. Opposed by the... Oh, for soak. He gets to roll willpower plus intuition for resistance, though. So, he gets to roll 5 dice. What's your magic attribute?
It's 6.
So you got 3 net successes. The damage value for the spell is half your value, so it's 3. You could have amped up the damage. Should have told that before if you wanted to. You could have added extra damage by taking more drain. I'll let you do that if you want. For every time you amp up the damage by 1, the drain goes up by 2, I think. But it can be a bit dangerous.
I'll amp it up by 1, so
Okay.
I'll take 2 more additional drain.
All right. So he got 2 successes. How many successes did you get? You got 5. So it's 3 net successes. So that's 6 plus. Just check that amping up thing. Amp up plus 1 DV is plus 2 drain. So I was right. So you take an extra plus 1. So that's 6, 7. Okay, so he takes 7, and he doesn't get to soak because it's a direct combat spell. So he takes 7 value damage, and he basically falls over on his butt, knocking over the family behind him's pot of ramen over the top of him. At which point, I think Magnet is looking particularly impressed that his maneuver managed to, knock the guy over without, even making contact with him. He just basically seems to crumple in front of you.
It's pretty slick, Hoss.
At this point, with their boss down on the floor, the 2 guys in front, both of which are just kind of hold up their hands and just back off. This isn't over. Are you gonna? The other guy is trying to pick up his friend and his teeth off of the floor as well.
Now,
Are you gonna?
move along.
Okay. So
Come back.
is anyone persevering with this, or are you just gonna let them go?
I'll pick up any spare teeth and hand them to his friend.
Okay. They basically back out the door. At which point you notice there is a white van revving its engine out the front.
Would I have time to scrub a astral signature?
Tony says, "Mind giving me a lift? I can show you to the warehouse where we've got the equipment."
All right, fine. Just get in the damn van.
Okay, you head out.
Yeah.
As you can see, there are people frantically leaving, and then there's possibly some police in the distance. So it's a good time to leave.
Let's beat feet, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah. I grab my
Yeah.
bike and follow the van.
He throws up some AR directions for you. For a place in the Tacoma docks. You drive to there. Is it saying anything on the way?
Guys were.
I had the situation under control, and you had to open your damn mouth.
Call it a
I'm
test.
thinking,
You did well.
Hey,
I needed to see you could handle yourself.
Just roll my
that's
eyes.
fine.
At this point, you think
Like-
probably wasn't a good idea for an 88 triad to wander into the middle of Yakuza held territory intentionally and then have a meeting there. He was just asking for trouble.
Of course.
He does say something in Mandarin to them on the way out. Does anyone speak Mandarin?
Nope.
Something about, yeah. Actually, if you don't understand it, then if no one speaks Mandarin, you don't get it. So probably wasn't polite. You head and you basically, if you head to this place, this is where the delivery storehouse is. Just to show you where you're going to meet up. If you can meet up here at 6 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be beginning to, load up onto the ships. At which point, we can select any weapons you want, and we can basically pack them. We've got a bit of a smuggling operation, so any basically weapons we can hide in the let's just say in the laundry, and get them on board.
Sweet.
Because obviously, when you walk in as staff, you need to pass the security checks to get on board.
Right.
We'll also need to take some pictures, get some IDs set up. So if you're gonna and get you on the registered payroll.
Okay.
You drive into the compound. It's bustling with people getting crates ready and wrapping things in large amounts of clear plastic. It's basically the back end of like a large operation of people getting ready to restock the ship. Almost exclusively, most of the people here are kind of ethnic Chinese. Few not, but a lot of people coming here from the kind of like Little Asia. And you notice there's a few people with triad tattoos around the outside. He takes you through to an office. Says, "Do you want some SOCAF? The machine's over there." And we'll get your everything there. If you want any weapons, we need to pack them up tonight. So if you want to leave them with us, and we can get them onto the ship. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend actually carrying the weapons onto the gangplank because they have security checks for the staff going in.
No weapons for me.
Okay. You basically,
I got some pack.
They basically generate some IDs for you. So everybody who's going to get an ID as being an employee, they sort you out some basically name tag and some basic uniforms, which are enough that you can basically wear your own jackets, and you can probably wear some stuff underneath. So you can probably put an armoured vest over the top of that.
IT guy, support guy on the ship, sporting my leather jacket with this toxic green anarchy badge and and my green mohawk. Sure.
They don't seem to mind too much. You see that there are people here that aren't. There are obviously some people that are more of the front end staff that might look a bit more palatable, but there are plenty of other people that have got funky hairstyles. Couple of trolls and orcs as well. Quite ethnic, diverse too. Chinese don't have the same anti-metahuman slant that the Japanese do, and quite often, they're quite happy to, integrate their Chinese and their orc and troll populations. One of the things that's different about the triads. Well, it's good doing.
Well, I got some weapons.
Weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you handing over some weapons,
Yeah,
what sort of weapons do you want to pack? So basically, anything assault rifle or smaller.
No. Just two automatic pistols and my katana.
Okay.
I trust this guy for some reason.
No grenade launcher? Damn it.
Ah,
Yeah, this is actually a job to rob us. We've handed over all our weapons, and then they're going to say, "Get lost, bums."
That was actually like a thought of mine. Like, would she really give up her weapons?
yeah.
Like, for a whole night?
If you want, we can provide you with weapons, but they might not be, the standard you've got yourself.
No, I'll give them my Ares Predator, my smart gun, my shotgun, and I leave the grenade launcher at home.
What?
And,
Okay.
The most important gear
yeah, but
on a ship in cramped
it's
corners.
yeah, it's going to be fun, but it's too big.
Oh, it's too conspicuous compared to a shotgun.
I don't think they can smuggle that in. And I think I'm going to take the Ares Alpha as well.
I'll take some extra care packaging that.
Yeah. Like, she makes it very clear that, like, if there's a scratch on any of her weapons, she's going to go, like...
It says,
call it
won't be any
ass.
scratches, but they may smell of dirty laundry.
Oh, for fuck's sake. She's just, like, yeah.
You think it was more in jest, what you said?
Yeah.
No, she's not amused. She doesn't get that. If he jokes about her weapons, she's going to hit him.
Hey, no worry. It's me, Tony. I'm going to get this all fixed up. No worries.
I look somewhat worried as I hand over a bag. It's It's got an automatic rifle in and a very nice katana with decorations of tigers on the scabbard, and a pistol.
Okay.
That's about all my wealth, guys.
So you swapped all your weapons for some uniforms and some IDs, and they basically get you the IDs in a couple of hours, while you basically enjoy the pretty good soya calf machine. It's not bad. You can even get flavors in it. They've even got one of those pot ramen machines where you can actually put the pot straight under and it basically dispenses noodles. And since a lot of you didn't seem to eat, because most of you tipped your noodles over the top of the yakuza, you go along, choose the artificial flavour and the soya chunks, and it will flavour the soya chunks in the flavour. So it's not bad. It's kind of a monosodium glutamate aftertaste, and you slightly hyper for the next hour, but.
So 50 years of technology advance gets us a pot noodle machine.
Yes. It's an AR pot noodle machine.
Yay!
I'm not proud. I'll have some.
It's the advance of technology. So you head off to get some rack time before getting up early in the morning. The guys will look after your van securely in their lot. They basically show you where you're going to be boarding. And they've got like a bus where they bus all of the workers down to there. So any late night things you want to do? It's about 10 o'clock by the time you finish doing all of this. So it's not even late for most people.
Some people just wake up at that time. No, it's fine. I would like to purchase some stuff. Just real quick, because I'm not sure if I had it before, or I'm going to drive home and take it if I have it. Just some sleep medication. Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, that's part of your character. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do I just have
Yeah, you can have some to help you. Yeah.
Yeah, just for 2-3 nights or something.
Yeah. So you'll basically get some rack time and then head over to the place. Gentry comes around and picks you. Not Gentry. Hot Rod comes around and picks you up in his van. Are you? Is Hot Rod going to request that they say that they can package one of his drones, one of the rotor drones?
Yeah,
it's not saying they'd be easy to use, but they'll be able to pack it just in case of emergencies.
Yeah, we'll stick him a rotor drone. Can I stick him a gun as well?
Yeah, you have to break. You have to break down the rotor drone. It'll take some time to reassemble. But
okay, so I'll break it down in the
but the other
shop in the back of the van.
You won't be able to take the bigger drones, but the MC2 rotor you break down and pack up, and they hide in a bunch of food stores.
Okay.
And you head on. So basically, you're in a kind of a bus full of people who are obviously going to work on this, chatting away. Some of them engage you in idle conversation, seeing you're the new people. And as you head to the place, this true ship is going to Tokyo. It takes about 14 days to go across, and then it turns back and comes back to Seattle. And on the way, it passes its sister ship, the Pride of Tokyo. The kind of general background you got on the ship is that it's basically it's not owned by one particular corporation, although it is owned by a corporation, but not by one of the megacorps. But you recognise basically it's a subsidiary of Renraku that own it. But they kind of do that so everybody will send their people on there. So there are all sorts of basically corporates, wage slaves, salarymen on board and their families, as well as some executives, and there are different levels of cash to pay for different services, right the way up to the executive suites. The guy that you're going to is apparently, you get some information, he's in the executive suite, on basically above the bridge, in one of the premier places in the entire ship. And you also know his bodyguards have got adjoining cabins to his. So you head up to the place. And you're just basically lining up and thinking, what have you done in your life to end up being in this situation where you're queuing up to be service staff on a cruise ship? Where there seems to be some commotion up ahead. Everyone roll a perception roll.
Not perception. Anything like that.
Just click on your characters and click on the perception button. Hot Rod is just looking through some AR magazines about fast cars.
Rabbit doesn't care. Like, yeah, whatever.
Magnet is just drawing in every detail around the entire place. Okay, so I'll say what Magnet sees, because Magnet sees the most. There is a gurney being pushed out by a couple of medical staff. And the figure underneath the sheet is probably feminine in its stature, and you can even see a hand and the kind of like leaf kind of hand of with the slight colour of occidental skin tan. Obviously not alive with the sheet over. Whereas people who've got two successes means it's a person under the gurney. 3 successes would mean it's a woman. So Nock can tell it's a woman.
Over and say. And I start talking to some of the staff members who are there staff members disembarking at the same time, or
yeah, there are some. There's another line for disembarking people because they're not obviously going through the security. So,
ask questions.
Yeah, the people are they're not close enough to ask the questions. But you do know, Magnet, that all the members of staff wear an AR name tag.
Is she wearing a name tag, or is there any way?
Well, maybe if it's deactivated, maybe maybe Gentry can see it.
Gentry, can you do?
I was going to check for her comlink ID or something like that.
Okay, so
AR, whatever.
So it seems to be it's not broadcasting actively, but see if you can find it by doing a matrix perception roll.
Ooh, perception. There we go. Oh, of course, a warclock, because what can go wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing, precisely. Wild, yeah.
You have to pick wild and overclock for it to work.
Precisely.
That's famous last words.
Yeah. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
Oh,
Yep.
so that's 5 successes. Yeah, you surreptitiously put in the activation codes and managed to activate it and read the name tag projected, and it is the name badge of Su Lin, who is a worker for your company and the person you're supposed to meet on the ship.
Oh,
that's going to be a bit of a problem.
yep. Okay.
If you make a quick you could if you're quick, they're going to be past you quite quickly. But if you want, you can attack the cred stick quite quickly with a brute force attack and try and get into it.
Almost. And a warclock.
It's only got most critics are really easy to get into. But if you do it brute force, it will be obvious that someone's hacked with it.
Force.
Okay, so roll click on your Cyberdeck, the Rainracker Kitsune, and you've got Matrix Brute Force.
Precisely.
And it's just going to roll 2 dice, and it's got a firewall of 1.
Oh, that rolled it. It was just...
Okay, you're going to overclock.
Of course. There's no choice for me. I'm not subtle. Let's just leave it at that.
Anarchist hacker.
As it rolled it in the chat box. Or
No.
was that the previous roll?
Oh yeah, I see it. That was the. Oh no, that's rolled it. Yep. So you got the 4 successes. You log into it. We're taking just basically break in through the code, and you can very quickly. I won't even bother making another roll. You can very quickly download the inventory that's on there, and you realise actually it's actually just a burner credit. It's a very there isn't much on it at all. You can see, knowing your habits, you can see this is the sort of cred stick someone has got when they're just basically not using their main cred stick. So this is not. This is just kind of like a low grade model, which doesn't. Which hasn't got much information other than some contact details of the company, and some business messages. You do get the information that she's working in the casino as a concierge, not a concierge, as a I've forgotten what they called now, a croupier on the blackjack tables. That's currently her position. She's got her kind of like instructions and things there, but nothing else.
Sashu, not any Nguyen left on the stake.
Nguyen's more complicated. You wouldn't have necessarily time to access it. But there's
of course I won't do it then.
there's a paltry amount on there.
Yeah. Well, I've 30 Nguyen left,
yeah.
so
yeah. Oh, you managed to do a transfer to an account then. And it's this very small amount of Nguyen from the dead woman's corpse.
Oh my god.
Okay, right. So that they
You can do it all the time in fantasy games. I mean,
the two paramedics wheeling around saying, "Oh, someone forgot to turn our comlink off. It's beeping. Poor thing. No peace in death."
I take out.
They wheel her off. You basically get through the queue, and you're met on the other side straight away by a man. He basically gestures you to come to a room. Says, "Yeah, I know Tony sent you. Let's go through. Get you settled in."
Very well. Show me the way, sir.
long.
Name's John Lung.
Magnet.
Magnet. Yeah.
Where will you be staying?
You're quite attractive.
I am. That's why they call me Magnet.
He laughs at his own joke very, very deeply. So, you here to do some laundry?
Yep.
Yep. We need to do some laundry, and where would be our stateroom?
Who was the person on the gurney, I wonder?
Oh, is he asking the question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Magnet looks at him and goes, someone by the name of Sue Lin?
His face goes kind of white. What?
Yeah, I suppose she was somebody we're supposed to be in contact with.
Hold on, he grabs his phone and starts jabbering away in Mandarin really rapidly. He gestures you into a room. You're in a kind of like a cabin that basically is for the staff. Usually big enough for kind of two people, but it's empty. It says, "Yeah, I've kind of arranged this place, and we've booked it out for you to kind of have somewhere where you can just get together and stage things. We can have anything you want delivered here." Sorry, things have got a bit of a mess. Sulin was found last night, or this morning. She was floating face down in the swimming pool on the top deck. Obviously, she was supposed to be your contact here. I was just getting you settled in, and she was supposed to have all of the detail.
Does she have the weapons?
No, we've got them all stored. We can bring them up here.
Okay, that's good then.
Alright, since we've got a wrench. Well,
it's like
wrench
priorities.
Here, of course, the priorities. Since we've got a wrench in the monkey works here, we need to figure out what we're going to be doing here, folks.
Negotiate the price.
I don't know if it helps, but I can show you to where Sulin kept her stash. You know, that sort of stash, not legal sort of stash.
Right, that's probably a good idea. Instead of all of us going, why don't you gentry and retrieve that stuff. We'll wait here.
And he seems to be really struggling here. He seems to be quite emotional. Look, if you've got particular jobs you want that are going to get you places, I mean, obviously, you know, you're your own business, and I'm not going to get involved. I don't really want to know, but you just tell me the jobs you want and the areas you want to work in, and I'll get you assigned on the roster to those places.
Well, then I don't know anybody else, but I'll take compartment cleaning on the executive's decks.
Sure. Right. Is there any general questions that people want to ask him? So you get this.
What are the jobs you got?
But anything you can think of on a ship. So
Yeah.
bartender, cleaner, kitchen hand, minor systems technician, anything that's not security.
IT support thingy.
Yeah.
Room service, I ring. Used to wheel a trolley around and go in and out of rooms.
You get a chance to look over the ship, so I'm going to just call up the ship plans for you. The only bad thing about it is you might have to scroll a bit. So,
Oh god, that's so cool.
so this is
awesome.
this is the ship plans, and I'll just show you the picture of the ship on the
Like a
handouts.
huge dungeon.
Ships. Okay, so
Do they have a gym?
this is what the Pride of Seattle looks like, and
Ooh.
it is a huge ship, and then so there's also there's the swimming pool on the top. So actually, I'll call up a picture of it just to show you. So this is the deck with a casino and a swimming pool.
See, like a basketball court and stuff. So I assume they have like a gym.
Yeah, they've got everything. It is like a floating city.
Yeah.
So this isn't all of the decks, but the decks kind of are replicants. So you're at the kind of bottom, and these small kind of pink things. But that's the crew quarters. They're on the lower decks. And then you've got kind of all of the food eateries, which are on the kind of lower decks, because there's less roll there, so people much more enjoy their food when there's less roll. You're closer to the waterline. And then you've got the crew. Then you've got the cabins, and then you've got the top kind of executive cabins, which are on the top two decks, above the bridge level. There's actually only one level above the bridge level, so that has these corner ones. And if you look on the sheet here, this is his cabin, just there. So actually I can draw a box around it. So objects.
About the only one that's not tiny.
Yeah, and they've got those corner cabins there. And then the two cabins to the side are the bodyguards' cabins. There we go. You can all see that now.
So yeah, I want to have a job like as a gym instructor or sports.
Yeah, sure. You can get a job working in one of the sports areas. Yeah.
Yeah, having like yelling at rich people to move faster. That's something to look forward to in her eyes. Just like screaming at those spoiled brats to move their asses. That's great. Yeah, she has a very mean smirk on her face when he says that's no problem.
There's also the casino as well, on the deck where she worked.
Someone should take a look at that.
Right, are you gonna split up? How are you gonna do this?
I was going to the cabin where she was to look at her stash.
Yeah, that's dark.
Okay.
But I think it would like a backup because they might be suspicious of somebody snooping around. There might be other guys here, hidden opponents we don't know about. So just one backup, that would be fine. So we might want to pick up our weapons first, or our laundry.
You go and check them out, and you can see they're all there. So you can either there's no actual, once you get on board, there's actually no weapons detectors on board, because obviously the security is that you've got on board. So not that you can see. So if you want to carry around a concealed firearm, something like a light pistol, heavy pistol might be a bit. There might be a risk of you being seen. But if you've got kind of light pistols in concealable holsters,
shit, should have thought that.
I mean, you can carry them around maybe in a bag. That might be a bit more suspicious. Always walking around with a backpack, but and again, when you're on deck and moving around, you can see that the employees are just wearing their uniforms. So if you're wearing anything like an armored coat, you're going to look a bit out of place. But if you've got like an armored clothing underneath your coverall, you can just about manage that. Or an armored vest might be a bit spotted.
I'll have that. That's part of my style. I can't remove it. Sorry, guys. Just admit it. But anyways, I would like to ask this guy that we just met here about the passes we get now. What is the security situation around here? With do we get access to every cabin, or just his cabin, or can we go? Do we get access to any place on the ship with our ID cards?
Your ID cards will basically allow you to go and do the cleaning, and if you've got that on the work order, we can sort that out. The only access they won't give you to is to the kind of like secure security areas, and they won't give you access to the bridge. The security suite is basically just behind the bridge. So that kind of block just behind the bridge is the security center.
Okay, but his cabin, our target's cabin, and the adjacent cabins would be nice to have.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Also for the Nutella Cafe, of course. You can find me there.
just pouring Nutella down his throat.
Spoons full of Nutella.
Yeah. That was my question. So then I head for the cabin with some sort of bag up. Just one of you guys or girls.
So
come if you don't.
So you've got three things you can look at. You've got the casino and the top deck. You've got Su Lin's cabin, and then I think that's the only two places of interest at the moment. Unless there's something else you want to look at. Do you want to scout the guy's cabin, or?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was going to kind of start doing the.
Yeah, because you're you get put on the compartment cleaning, and the cleaning's usually done at about 10 o'clock in the morning. So basically, as soon as you get settled in, around like 10 to 11, you can basically go in.
So that's basically what I want to do. So
yeah, are you carrying any sort of weapon?
Not on me not on my person, but.
How about put it in the cleaning cart?
That's exactly what I did.
Oh, okay.
And I'm wearing my Urban Explorer jumpsuit.
Right. I'll do your one first. You head up to the cabin, and you just get to the cabin. There's a very short, stocky, very serious-looking Japanese guy. He steps in front of the door. I'm sorry, Mr. Carell had a late night last night. You'll have to come back at 1 o'clock.
Oh, I could do that for you, sir. No problem. And my voice actually changes from the southern drawl to a very proper West Coast, kind of a working man's tone. No problem, sir. I'll come back. And I kind of wheel myself around, just kind of start doing some of the other cabins in the area.
Make a perception roll.
All right. Do that. Oops. Perception. There we go.
Oh, sorry, you have to be back on the sheet. I can't do that without being back on the sheet. Here we go. I'll go back to the... right, there we go.
There we go. All right. Any modifiers?
Nope.
3 hits.
Okay. He's obviously packing a heavy pistol, and he's quite set in his demeanour. He looks obviously a kind of got a military quality to him.
Okay. So I take stock of what he's wearing. Does it look like the clothing he is wearing is armor?
Yeah, definitely. Quite stylish, quite designer, and quite armoured.
Sort of.
And his heavy pistol is not. It's not in a concealed holster. It's in a quick draw holster. He's obviously showing he's also got his basically on an AR. You can basically see an icon which represents he's got permission to carry a firearm. He's got the security tag on him.
Okay, sounds good. Then, like I said, I'll move on to some of the other, and I'll still keep an eye out. I'll just kind of as I go in and out of the cabins that are empty and don't have the do not disturb signs on. I'll just kind of keep an eye on.
Sure.
If there's any chance for movement or anything. But I'll
So
go ahead and run. Give the rest of the team the rundown that Yatomi.
He also
standing.
He also leaves it. It says, "Oh, and can you not disturb this cabin here because my colleague is on the off shift. He's sleeping. But he'll but you can clean his cabin if you can come back at 8 o'clock.
Sure, we can do that for you. No.
So you clean this guy's cabin, which is kept meticulously with nothing, basically, other than the bare essentials of what he needs to exist. You hear a dull snoring from the other cabin as you go past, which must be the other bodyguard who's on the kind of like off shift, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I gotcha. No problem. So I kind of give the rest of the team a over the subload. I was just going to say, looks like Yatomi is the day shift bodyguard. The other seems to be the night shift. So our best bet for contact is probably sometime in the evening.
There are some security people on the deck as well, just basically pacing, who look like regular kind of security grunts, carrying basically sidearms and tasers, but quite discreet.
Okay. How many?
Any one time there are about like 2 in patrols of kind of 1, but there are about 2 on each deck, but they're kind of wandering around. You can see it's probably a patrol pattern that they go around every so often, but more than are on the other decks. So this deck is more heavily patrolled.
Gotcha. So there's anywhere between 2 and 4 rotating or patrolling guards on the deck at any one time.
You observe that after a while there are times when there aren't any. So about once every half hour they do the rounds.
Okay.
And you can start kind of timing the kind of their movements about roughly when they're coming around.
Sounds good. That's exactly what I was looking for.
They seem to be in the monotony of routine, which is an advantage to you. In the meantime, down below decks, John, I forgot his name. Wong? John Feng, there we go. I'll write that one down. John Feng, it takes you down to the lower decks, and you're just heading towards Sulin's cabin when you see that there's a guy talking to a security guy outside. Is anyone who's going down there?
I'm there.
Hmm?
Who's going with me?
Well,
Okay. You've got Rabbit's got cyber ears, haven't you?
yeah.
Yeah. Can you make if everyone makes a perception roll, but generally Rabbit gets 2 extra edge for your cyber ears.
Wow. No.
2 edge, you said, right?
Yeah.
What will I do with 2?
So you can just turn a 4 into a 5, or you can re-roll 2 dice, or you can spend 2 edge with some more dice as well. To spend up to 4 to get a re-roll, but then you'll start deflating your edge pool.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to turn one of the 4s into a 5, so I have 2 successes.
Okay.
2 hits.
Unfortunately, Gentry, they're arguing about the food, you think, on the boat. Something about the food being terrible.
The noodle panda.
Yeah. Rabbit gets some hints. Basically, they're arguing a bit about jurisdiction. And one guy obviously seems to be out. He's wearing a kind of like a long coat and a suit underneath. Obviously, he's seen better days, and a hat. And he's arguing with the guy who seems to be the head of security, saying, "Look, I'm here to solve this case, and I'm going to get it solved." And the security chief goes, "Well, you've got 24 hours to get it solved, and then we're in international waters, and we'll have to escort you off on the patrol boat. Look, I'm here trying to solve this case. I'm not here, to cause you trouble." He goes, "Yeah, but this is a corporate boat, and we are going to be in international waters, and then you're going to be shipped off. You're trying to stop my investigation here." You go, "Nope, that's just regulation. You're going to be shipped off the boat. I'll put this up to my supervisors. You'll hear about this. This door's locked. None of your staff are to go inside." He basically taps something, and you can see they put a secure mag lock on the door. He walks off towards you. He seems really ticked off.
I just pass him like nothing happened.
You see his badge in AR. So and you managed to capture his badge. So his name is hang on a sec. James McKenna. It's a bit like that, but with a hat on. Quite young looking. He actually spoke with a more of a Cass accent rather than a UCAS accent. The security chief heads off. And you can hear him just basically saying into his comm link, "Don't worry, the cop will be off the boat."
What's the detective? Yep.
Yeah, the detectives walked off. So you're in the clear now. Tony looks, not Tony, John looks, he goes, "Looks like they brought in the Lone Star to come and investigate this."
Point again.
Don't think he will get any far with just 24 hours. It's not enough to investigate what happened to her.
Yeah, these corporations are touchy. They don't like anyone investigating them.
No, exactly. They will
just out of habit.
They will make it harder for him, even in those 24 hours.
You got prize fully no because the murder happened on sea. Extraterritoriality doesn't occur, and this counts as a UCAS investigation until it gets out of international waters. At which point it's got no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
How do you get through that lock? Can you open it? Or do we need our guys? Can you open the mag lock?
No, that's a Lone Star security lock.
Ooh. Sounds technical.
I've got a maglock passkey in my arsenal.
So, hot. Were you going down with them, Hot Rod?
I'll send him a message. We need you. Your special key.
You know he's a bit of a safe breaker.
Yeah. We need your magnetic personality, so to speak.
Yeah, right. So I go and find them.
You go and find them, and you wait for a lull and anything, and then surreptitiously kind of meander over to the lock and present your pass key. It's a 4 dice test, so let's just roll 4 dice. I'll let you roll it. Just if you click test and then 4.
One hit.
Yeah, it goes beep 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 beep. and then clicks open the door. You kind of duck in quickly under the police tape.
Impressive.
There we go.
When you get in, the place is not Spartan. It's got a few kind of like homely features in it. There's a uniform hanging on the dresser, some makeup case on there, and looks like it's been lived in for a while because obviously she's lived in here for all of the trip. John kind of gestures over. He says, "There's a compartment behind the bed. Yeah, can you give me a hand? Just shift it left."
Yeah, I help him.
Yeah, these are maintenance things, but they're quite useful for storing things. So he pops open the little maintenance panel and opens it and pulls out a couple of boxes. So in the boxes, you've got a variety of different things. You've got a hypodermic injector, a very small kind of discreet injector, which is no bigger than a kind of an air cartridge or something. Very small, the size of a bullet, really. You can easily conceal. It's got like a button on the end, and you can just basically inject. And there are obviously in this little pack there are some of them missing from the pack. There's also a supply of the drug in one box, so it looks like a couple of the auto injectors have been taken. But they're the sort of thing you can carry easily concealable on your person. And then there's a stack of poker chips. Now, has anyone got any gambling skills or thinks their character might be someone into gambling?
Are they from the ship here?
Otherwise, you can just make a memory test. So if you just click attribute memory.
Attribute.
All of us, or
anybody who's in the room.
Yeah, I was just say I've got con, but that won't do you good.
to roll memory?
Yeah, there's you click on the character and there's a thing called attribute memory.
Yeah.
Okay, Rabbit, you know this is really, really not normal because a croupier would never take chips.
Yeah, and they're counted or something.
Yeah,
like,
would not take
yeah.
chips out of them. So it's very, very odd that that anybody would have chips, and they're not even high denomination chips. They're actually quite low denominations. It's not even for the money.
Maybe she got paid to payment for her.
Not really much.
Hidden electronic stuff. Like, are they mem chips or?
Okay, so you put your scanner up to them.
Yeah,
and
RFID chips or something.
Yeah, you realise that they are RFID chips, encoded RFID chips. They currently don't have anything on them, but it looks like that basically they could be encoded with messages. And there's also a comlink in here, a very nice Transys expensive comlink.
I'll take that. I'll fit with it later.
Okay. There's also a small light pistol and a concealed holster and a couple of magazines of ammunition, and that's basically it in the little stash.
She doesn't have a workstation in here.
Well, the comlink is the workstation, basically.
Yeah, precisely. Workstation. It's so 2050.
Yeah. So you take the stick bag. Otherwise, it looks like there's no signs. They've gone through and searched it, but there's no signs of anything. And you didn't see them take. It looks like it's been searched. You can see that drawers have been opened and ruffled through, but they obviously haven't found this stash.
Is the company logo on this comlink like it was her work comlink?
No,
Rocky?
nobody who works in this sort of job would afford a comlink this good. This is like
No.
this is a top of the line Transys Avalon.
Okay.
You take it aside then, and basically you get a chance to go for it. You take your time, so make a probe test.
Wait. Oop. There.
Can I take another look through the room just to see if there's anything out of the ordinary? I mean, if she would have embarked to go back into Seattle, she would have possibly maybe packed her clothes or something like that. So I just want to have like another thorough look if anything comes to mind that seems weird.
Yeah, you have a look around. You see that she hasn't started packing her clothes yet, but there's nothing there. I mean, she's got some very nice. She's got a variety of clothes. She's got some very nice civilian clothes, the kind of things that blend in, as well as you do notice that one of the set of clothes has a bit of a Kevlar weave to it. So she's got some discreet, stylish armoured clothing, which wouldn't have been picked up necessarily on the casual look, but someone who knows what they're looking for. Right, your overclocked deck has no trouble in probing a hidden access into the thing, and you make a backdoor entry roll. You get an extra. Actually, it's got to test first. It has a firewall. The firewall's been jacked up on this, so it has a firewall of 3. So it gets double firewall.
Probably.
Because you can turn data process into firewall. So it resists more than you'd expect, but you get 3 extra successes now on your backdoor entry roll.
Okay, so no
for-
die pool modifier, but just
You get 3
extra
3 extra dice pool modifier. You get 3 extra dice to roll. Sorry,
right.
so you get 3 extra dice.
Yes. Here we go. Hopefully. Nothing really happened. I'll try again. Oh, there we go.
Oh, wild dice 1. So how many 2s did you get? 1, 2, 3. No, still not enough to thing. You get into it, no trouble. There's a whole variety of files here. You find some that are encrypted, and it takes you a while to basically decrypt them, and you have to go for a data bomb. So let's make a defuse roll.
Here we go. Any modifiers on it? No?
No.
Well.
Oh dear. Is that a 1? No. What'd you get? 3 successes. Right, okay. And it gets 6 successes for the 6 dice for the data bomb.
Wow.
Is it me, or does it look like that 3? Oh, it looked like it had a cocked die there.
Yeah.
It's weird the way it works. You just because
that guy's cocked. Re-roll that.
Because you're tired, you're successful. So you just manage to open up this ticking bomb, and it counts down basically to the last minute before it explodes, and you manage to disarm it.
At 1 second left, I'm sweating. But
So he's sweating profusely while staring at this comlink. Oh, by the way, when you go VR, you get 2 extra edge every time you go VR. So you would have had 2 extra edge to spend on that as well. So if you want, you could spend an edge on that. You can do 2. You can turn one of the 4s to a 5, basically.
Yeah, I'll use that for that.
Yeah, so you turn the 4 to a 5. So you definitely get there, and you manage to unlock it. So she's got quite a little bit of data here, quite securely encrypted and written in Mandarin, so you have to translate it. Some of the stuff struggles because it's written in colloquialism, but basically you get the gist that she's writing a report to her employer, and she has basically been meeting with the guy, and she's been sending him messages about the. It's got your mind boggles at the figures involved here. This is like multi-million yen package, as he's been tempted away, and he's been negotiating with her, and they've been doing the communications through programmable, erasable RFID chips on the chips that she's been basically swapping with him. Basically, she's been his croupier on the casino floor, and she'd basically made the arrangements. And the last entry, it says here that she was going to meet and with the person that evening in the casino to basically finalize the deal.
Maybe one of us should take her position.
I want to say sorry, evening. I meant she was going to meet at kind of like 4 a.m. when the casino was shut down. So they'd arranged to meet last night.
Last night. So before we.
This morning, I should say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
And then she was found.
She was found floating down in the pool about 6 a.m.
Is the pool close to the casino? Is it on the same level?
It's right outside the casino, basically.
Okay.
Do we get a name of the contact, or is it just some scrambled call sign or something? The one she was contacting.
Yeah, basically.
Name out of it.
It's
Is it a name I recognize from previously?
It's Tony, basically.